Connor, owner of Amelie Designs, and I'm very excited today to talk to you about placement on the embroidery machine. And we're going to do that with a new pattern that I put out called Let It Snow Man. And this is a wall hanging. It was intended to be just this large snowman with the lettering, Let It Snow. And then there is a dimensional snowflake aspect to this. Let's see if you can see that one. And I glued some little flat backs on it. There's also a beautiful custom quilted border on here. And then there's some little quilted motif designs that are like right here. Can see. So after we got the pattern all written up and everything, we decided, oh, we should do this for people with 5x7 hoops because it's a very large design and it was fairly easy to do. But anyway, so what we did was we separated the two and we made a smaller snowman to fit in a 5x7 hoop, and then the lettering that says Let It Snow is separate. And then everything else is going to be the same, except the border is going to be a little bit smaller design. So today I want to talk to you about placement, and I'm going to be using my brand new Baby Lock Solaris machine. Now I have several other machines, Berninas and Fofs. They're all my children. I love them all dearly. But because the Solaris is new, I want to show you how to do all this on the Solaris. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to place these quilted motif designs on the quilt, the little motif quilting right here. And what I did was, this is a 2-inch quilt block, 2-inch motif. And what I did was I placed some little blue dots on the background of the quilt. Let me see if I can stand up and show you. I don't have my monitor in because the cable won't connect. So there's some little blue dots, and that's where I'm going to stitch some of these motif quilts. You can stitch them wherever you want to stitch them. And that's kind of the fun with the motif design. You can quilt as much as you want to or as little as you want to. So I'm going to start with the motif, and I'm going to use a magnetic hoop because it'll be a lot easier to shift it around. So let me get set up here and I'll meet you in just a second. Alright, as you can see, I put the bottom portion of my magnetic hoop in the machine, and now I'm going to put the quilt, and I've hooped all three. I'm hooping all 3 layers. And I think I'm going to start with this one right here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to center the needle. I'm going to center the needle over one of the dots. And then I'm going to attempt to put my hoop in. One thing about magnetic hoops is they want to stick to everything along the way. Okay, let me make sure I got it set. I'm kind of feeling for all the little corners. I'm going to give it a little tug. Because these are round, it really doesn't matter if I stitch them crooked or not. And I got that pretty close. I'm a little bit down and to the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move it in the machine. So let me show you how I do that. So here is the screen. And what I want to do first is I want to just go ahead and go into an embroidery. And then I want to go into the layout. And when you get into layout, you have a move button. And that's where I want to move things, because as I move using these arrows here, I can actually watch the needle over on the machine move around. So now I'm going to use those arrows. See if I can zoom in a little bit so you can see. Whoops. And that's pretty good. That's good enough. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this out in white thread. I'm being a little brave here. I did blue on my other one, but I think I'm going to do white just to so it really shows up. So here we go. neat. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to find another blue dot that I put on my quilt, and I'm just going to continue that for a few. Well, that was fun. I just placed, I'm going to show you kind of close up some of my snowflakes. You can probably see them. I do like the white thread on that blue background. It looks like it's snowing all over my fabric. Okay, now the next thing I want to show you how to do are the borders, and I have chosen the small border pattern. There is a video for doing the large border pattern, so if you have the large hoop capability, go ahead and do the large borders. This is for people with a 5x7. So what I did was I've laid part of my border down, and you see, like, from this seam to this seam I have two borders, and they're going to be right next to each other. But then along the side I'm going to leave a little space between them. I've kind of spaced them out that way, so they're 4 along the side. So that's how you're going to place them. And I went ahead and put a pin and placed the paper down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm still going to use my magnetic hoop because it's kind of fun, and I'm just going to kind of start like maybe right here, and I'm going to work my way around and then finish the 2 on the other side, and then I'm going to do the other side with the same templates. And the other thing I wanted to tell you too is I pinned these down in place just so I knew where I was going to place them, because I didn't really think I wanted quilting underneath them. I guess you could put quilting underneath them if you wanted to, and you most certainly could have done the little quilting motif without the paper templates on. It might have been a little easier. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 methods since I have this new machine. One is finding the center. So those of you who don't have that wonderful scanning capability, you can do this too on your machine. I want to show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of the design in the machine, and then we're going to find the center of the crosshairs, and then we'll stitch it out. And then I'm going to show you how you can scan it and place it on there too. When you hoop the table runner, try to keep the edge straight. So with my magnetic hoop I have the number 3 here, and that's where my table runner lines up, and it also lines up with the 3 in the back. So let me show you what I do first on screen. Again, we have to go to layout. You don't want to go to edit, you want to bring in the design, and then you're going to go to the layout. And then we're going to go to move, and the first thing we're going to do, you'll notice right off the bat that the little crosshairs on this Baby Lock Solaris is in the middle. And on all Baby Lock machines, the middle is what is always selected. Okay, so we know where the middle is. Now what I want to do is I want to use these arrows again to move it. Move that center point so it's on the center of my paper template. That way I know the design in the machine is lined up with the center. And I can do that by moving those arrows and then occasionally checking the machine by bringing the needle down. I can also turn on the laser, which is a kind of a cool feature too, and I have this, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little pink crosshair that shows me I'm like spot on. So now I know that that design is where I want it to be. I'm going to remove the paper. Lordy be, we don't want to be stitching on paper. That would be a nightmare to pick out. Now I'm going to go back to my machine, back to the screen, and there's an OK button. I have to hit the OK button. Now I'm back into embroidery. Now I can go ahead and start my machine, and it will stitch that design. Now remember, it's about 1/4 inch from the edge, so sometimes when I'm sitting here I just kind of, you know, hold my fingers here on the edge. Please don't run over your fingers. Put tape down if you think you're going to. I like that. So now we've got one border down. Now I'm going to show you how you can scan it. Let me get set up though first. Okay, here's the scanning method. The first thing I want to do is I want to remove the paper template. I don't need it. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my screen. And I'm going to, right above the layout, there's a little photograph, a little camera. And I'm going to hit that. And it's going to say scan. Now, I also want to draw your attention to background image on off. So the scan is going to stay on your screen even when you go to your next project. You'll have to turn it off, okay? So here I am, I'm going to scan. I'm just going to press a button. It says the frame will move to be scanned with the built-in camera. So keep your fingers out of the way and just let it scan. And here it is scanning. Now here comes the magic. There is my fabric, and let me zoom in here. You can see the design shows up. Alright, so we're going to close. We want to get rid of the scanning program, so we're going to go over here and close it up, just to close it. Now we can hit the move button. We're still in layout. We're going to hit the move button, and now we can move that design and position it exactly where we want it to be. And if you look, that little circle down here is on the paper, so I'm going to scoot it over a bit. And I like that placement right there, I think. Yeah, I like that. Just to be on the safe side, I am going to fold the paper up over here. I'm just going to fold that out of the way. It's paper, I can fold it. Press that really good. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my screen. I'm going to hit the OK button. That puts me into embroidery. And now I can stitch this out. I might hold that corner since I'm right at the corner. Oops. Do the cat scratch. Nice, I like that. Alright, and that's how you do the border. You're just going to keep going around until your border is completed. I'll show you mine in a minute. Okay, so here's my finished wall hanging. Let me see if I can come in and zoom in a little closer for you.